Alright, so by popular demand, I'm actually going to do the quad lab, at least part of it, so you guys get an idea and repeat the stuff that I did close in class. Now, be advised, I have a cold, so this is going to kind of suck. So I got part of the network configured. As you can see, if I go over here and I just cheat and go to the config tab, Fast Ethernet 1 is already configured, Fast Ethernet 2 is configured. So one of the things we've got to make sure is that Fast Ethernet 0 is set to the first IP array, first IP host in the 192.168.1.0 network. Okay, with a subnet of 255.255.255.0. That's a Class C network, and down here we got 192.168.5.0, 255.255.255.0, also Class C. And these PCs have already been configured, so we'll go here. Oh, that one hasn't been, so that one I'm going to configure right now, 192.168.1. And I'm going to make it 100. Automatically it grabs the 255.255.255.0, and I've configured my default gateway, 192.168.1.1, right? I don't have a DNS server or anything like that. I'm not doing IP6. I'm going to go over here to PC6, and I'm going to configure that one, and that will be 192.168.5.100. With a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0 Class C, right? And now my default gateway, first one on the 192.168.5.0 network, will be 192.168.5.1. This is by convention, okay? So that's totally cool. Now, I don't have anything configured over here, but to test that, what I'm going to do is grab this guy, and I'm going to ping the server, or the PC that I just configured up top, which on this one is PC4, right? So I'm going to ping 192.168.1.100. It should go through. I'm hoping it does. Takes a second, and yeah, I found it. There you go. Cool. So now here's the cool thing. So these two networks here, which are plug and play through the switch, both have default gateways, and both are connected to this router. Now, if I was going to the router here and go into privilege exec mode, and actually I'll just do that again so you can see how we get there, just for practice. There's the beginning of the router. I don't have any password set, I don't have anything like that. That is user exec mode. I type enable. I'm now in privilege exec mode, so I type show, what is it? IP interface brief, right? And I have an itch. There you can see it knows about two networks right now, right? It knows about the Fast Ethernet 0 network here, which is up, and that's the 192.168, and that's the default gateway, and it knows about that one. It doesn't know about any other networks, right? And additionally, if I went down here and I typed in show IP route, you can see that'll also give you what networks it knows about, the default gateways. And you see down here, say C is for configured. So that, look, 192.168.1.0 network, not the IP address, the network, is configured /24, which is Class C, to the Fast Ethernet 0. And 192.168.5.0/24, same deal. But it doesn't know about any other networks. So I'm going to go over here and set up the default gateways for these two networks, okay? So let's make sure we can see that okay. We can. So how do I do that with the CLI? Well, you got to remember, it's like moving through file folders or the folders on your network, right? You go to C drive, then you go to utility, then you go to directory 1, and in directory 1 there's something else. So we're going to do the same thing over here, except I'm going to go to, so now I'm in user exec mode. I want to go to privilege exec mode. Then I go conf t, right? Conf configure terminal. This is where we can actually mess around with stuff. And then we want to check out Fast Ethernet 0, which should be this guy up here, right? Okay. So I go interface, INT, tab, F for Fast Ethernet, and it's going to be 0/0. Okay. So I just type in IP address. Now, this is the 172.16.0. I messed up. Oh, that's the default gateway. .0.0 network, and that is going to be the first IP address because this is a Class B. So the 172.16 defines the network, which is Class B, and these two zeros are all for hosts. I can make 16,000 hosts. So my first IP address, host address, available on the network is 172.16.0.1, and it's a Class B 255.255.2. Whoops, 0.0, right? Now, additionally, I have to do no shutdown. So now it's going to change it to up. The reason being is that Cisco routers, by default, turn off interfaces that aren't being used and haven't been set up to manually up for security, because you can access them. So now it's up. So I'm going to back out. I move back up to config.t. And I'm going to do the fast Ethernet 1.0. So I'm going to go interface, fast again, and I'm going to go 1/0, which is this interface down here, right? And I'm going to do the same thing, IP address. Now this one is the 255.25, whoops, sorry, boo-boo. This address is 200.5.5 network.0, but the first available host address is going to be .1, and it's a class C, 255.255.255.0. That should work. And then I go no shut again. Rocket. Perfect. Okay. So now if I back out and I go to, and I'm backing out of global configuration back to privilege exec mode, where I can do cool show thing. I'm going to show IP route, which will actually show me a lot of stuff. So you can see I've got configured 172.16/16 network 200, right? That's good. So now I've got this network configured, this network configured, this one is coming online, and that one is coming online. I have nothing in between. See, these guys are not talking? So I'm going to bang back over to router 1, and I'm going to go to the CLI, and I'm in, you can see the hashtag right down here. That tells me I'm privileged exec. I'm going to go conf t, right? And then I'm going to go interface, but this time I'm going to serial. So I type serial, and that one should be 0, wait a minute. Oh, no, it's 2/0, right? Cool, I'm going to give it an address, IP address. Now, I'm using the 10 dot between the two, so 10.0.0.1 for this guy over here, and it's a class A, 255.0.0.0. And that'll do that, and I go no shut. Right? I'm going to exit out of here, and I'm going to exit just for case. There we go, so it's closed all the way. Now you see nothing comes up. Why? Because he's not connected to anything. Just that interface is up, but I have nobody to talk to, because routers are lonely and they love to talk to people. So over here I am in privilege exec on router 2. I go conf t, right? And then I go interface, and then I go, where do I go? Oh yeah, serial. And again it's 2/0 because we've connected the serial interfaces on both, right? IP address, right? Cool. And this one's going to be the second one, which is 10.0.0.2, also with 255.0.0.0 class A network, right? That should work. No shut. Awesome. And if I go back out again, now watch what happens here when I get to privilege exec mode. There we go. I go show IP route. It's going to show me all of the interfaces that are configured plus any routes I have. Right? You can see it only knows about the 3 interfaces connect to it, right? So it knows about the 172 network right here, which we configured. It knows about the 200, which we configured. And it knows about this guy over here, which we configured. But it does not know about any of these guys over here. Why? Because it's not directly connected to them. Alright, so in order for us to actually talk back and forth between these 2 networks, we need to set up static routes. Now we do 2 things. We can set up a wildcard, or we can do specific. In this particular case, I'm going to do specific. Okay, so in order to mess things up again, I have to go to global configuration. And it's very, very simple here. I'm going to move this over here so you can see what's going on. I need to find this router and this router, or this network and this network here, right? So it's a very simple command. It's IP route. Right? I go route. There you go. So I say, if you want to find this network over here, which is the 192.168.1.0, which means any host on the 192.168.1 network, that's a network ID. So if you want to find anybody 192.168, whoops, oh, I blew it. So if you want to find it, I'm going to use the up key, get my command back, 192.168.1.0 network with a class C, 255.255.255.0. Please go talk to this interface on this router, because this router knows all about those networks. That interface, which we configured on the serial device, was 10.0.0.1, and we don't have to put the subnet. It's just, hey, go talk to that guy. Okay? Ta-da! That's it. Now I'm going to cheat because I want to talk to the 192.168.5 network as well. Okay? So I'll just go back here, do the same thing, but I'm going to change this to a 5. I'm just going to go all the way here to the end, and I'm going to hit there. So now I type exit, and I'm in privileged exec mode, and I use the up key to use commands that I did before. Oh, there we go, show IP route. Now, things are different. Look, I've configured the 10.0.0 network with /A to serial 2. 172 is on fast Ethernet 0. 200 is on fast Ethernet 0. And I also have two static routes. I have this one here. So if you want to talk to the 192.168.1.0 network, go talk to that 10.0.0.1. And if you want to talk to the 192.168.5.0 network, go talk to 10.0.0.1. Now, I still can't ping across. Why? Because this router now knows about this network, the 172. It knows about the 200. It knows about the 10 dot, and it has a static route over here. But if I was to send a ping command across, this router does not know about these guys. So the ping command would go across, it would find the host, and it would die because it does not get back. So we're going to just go over here really quick. We're going to go into router 1. I'm going to go enable. And then I'm going to go to conf t, right? And I'm going to do IP route. And if I want to talk to the 172.16.0.0 network with a class B 255.255.0.0 network, so if I want to talk to the 172 network, please go talk to 10.0.0.2, which is this interface right here. Okay? Then I'm going to do it again, IP route. And if you want to talk to anybody over the 200 network, 200.5.5.0 network with a subnet mask 255.255.255.0 class C, right? Then please go talk to the same thing, 10.0.0.2, okay? Then we'll back out and we'll do it over here, right? So exit, no, privilege exec, show IP route. Let's see what's going on there. So now look, this guy's got the 172 network, the 192, he knows about that, right? It's configured over here. I hope I did this right. Did I do that right? I hope so. Yeah, I did. So, oh yeah, he's got his network, and he's got static routes to those two guys over there. Now I'm just going to run over here really fast and configure this device here, because I didn't configure it. So since he's on the 172 network, I'm going to go 172.16.1.100, because that's on that network. See how it automatically went class B, default gateway 172.16.0.1, and we're good. All right. Then I run down this PC here, I configure him for this network here, desktop. All right, so I'm going to make him 200.5.5.100. You notice I use 100s for the PCs because it's just the way I like to do it, and I know if I see them 100 above, then they're hosts. If I see them like 50 and below, they're servers, right? My default gateway, which we already configured. .1. Cool. Awesome. Which means now I should go up to this PC, which we've configured, 192.168.1.100. I should be able to go here and ping, say, this guy over here, the one I just configured, right? So ping 200.5.5.100, right? And that should go across the network if I did everything properly. So maybe take a couple of seconds, and if not, and Bob's your uncle. Okay? So now, and if I was to go over to simulation mode, right, and call this guy up here, I'm going to redo this, and we could watch the little packets fly across. I'm going to speed it up though. So there we go. So, just trying to ping across, and it's annoying the hell out of me because it's in capture mode. Hurry up! You just did it. Why wouldn't you do it again? Alright, so we're going to capture mode, and it sucks. That should have worked. Let's try it again. Whoa! Oh, packet tracer crapped out. Okay, well, we'll go back to real time. But we did see it work here, so that's fine. There, it's pinging, no problem. Okay, so that's just the capture mode. Now, two things I have not done. I've made a lot of configurations and changes. So this guy, because I did in the desktop, it'll remember it. But I turned all these routers on, and I put the static routes, which basically said to this router, these are your networks. If you're looking for these two networks, go talk to that guy. And this guy said, these are your two networks. But if you're looking for these two networks, go talk to this router over here. What I have not done is saved anything. Okay? So in user exec mode, privileged exec mode, I go copy R, see how it tabbed out, running config to startup config, and I save it. And I just hit enter and it saves it for the default. And then I go over to this guy here, and in privilege exec mode again, I go copy. Now the other thing you could actually do is go C, cop RS. Do you see that? Which is short form for copy running config to startup config, and you notice it goes, oh yeah, cool. There you go. So now because I have those static routes, anybody on this network can ping over here, anybody on this network can ping over here, everybody can talk, which is totally cool. Now we haven't locked down the routers, we haven't set up the DNS, we haven't set up the web servers, we haven't done any of that. I will do that in another video because I'd like to focus just on that. But here we've learned the basic networking, right? Default gateways, how to configure the PC so that they have their IP address, which is on the network, plus their gateway, which you can see right there. Same over here, right? Which is this basic networking, setting up basic networks. We've also set up this router here so that it's got its 3 interfaces turned on, 2 Ethernet and a serial, plus it also has static routes to point to the other network. And we've done the same thing over here. And bang, you've got 2 routers set up with 2 networks each, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 networks all set up, and everybody can communicate across all of them, which is pretty awesome. All right. So having said that, I'll leave you with that. Practice it, and then what I would like you to do, configure the rest of these devices here. Make sure they're all on the network. Make sure everybody's set up, and make sure you can ping all the way across. Right. Make sure you want your default gateway for the network you're on. All right. And in the next recording, I'll do the locking down a router and passwords and all that good stuff like that. Okay. I hope that helps out. See you.